Hello and welcome to Crypto Weeklies. In this video, we discuss Kaspa and its token KAS. None of the content is financial advice. Let's get started. The chart that you're seeing on the screen is the time-weighted average price chart, where the price, whenever it's above the blue line, represents somewhat of a time-weighted average price-based risk, where the risk levels are calculated and the color coded based on how the price is doing with respect to time-weighted average price. Most of the great buy zones for this model is whenever the price is trending close to the time weighted average price and slightly below time weighted average price. Kaspa did make its head down from the time weighted average price first in early March of 2025 and then early April of 2025. Now with the prices up with respect to the time weighted average price, now the price at around 9 cents, time weighted average price at about 7.5 cents. You can see using this model over here. Again, on coin market cap, you can check there was a healthy amount of buying, again this gray shaded region, whenever as and when the price left that 6 cents bottom, and again that support vanished, and the price capitulated below 5 cents. That's where most of the buying occurred. If you look at over the last year or so, the prices are in a downtrend from where they were back in July of 2024, when the price was at about 20 cents overall. Again, this token did have its all-time high at around 2024 early August of 2024. Now the prices are going back to the upside. From, if you look at the monthly lows, they were at around price action. Again, if you compare over here and take a hard look at Kaspa at the weekly close, weekly price downturn, that was at about 5.2 cents back in the first week of April of 2025. Now the prices are rallying to this key area, that is the 20-week simple moving average and the 21-week exponential moving average, both at around 9.7 cents and 9.8 cents respectively. So about less than half of a cent away from the 20-week and 21-week moving average. Let's see, this would be the I think this would be the first try where the price meaningfully tries to go above the 20-week moving average and the 21-week exponential moving average since about October 2024. There was one iteration where the price from this downturn and this support level over here at around 10 cents, which Kaspa held from November 2023 till about November 2024. So this support line, which eventually got broken in February 2025. There was one iteration where the price did, when it reached this range lows at around 10 cents, the price did go slightly higher than the 20-week moving average. If that were to happen, the ceiling based on this channel is at around 14.5 cents, so about 5 cents higher than the current price. And in the larger scheme of things, again, if you look at the price and color code it with the time weighted average price to see what is the current risk level, again you can see the risk levels are at about 22%. For most of its journey, the risk level were again in the range of 80% to 90%. That is because prices for the longest time, Kaspa's price again was higher than the time weighted average price for the longest time. Again, if you can look at any random crypto, again let's take this one as an example. Again, you can see a lot of time spent below the time weighted average price, just randomly clicking. Again, Quant is one similar to Kaspa, where the price has meaningfully stayed above the time weighted average price. Let's take one example over of the top 20 cryptos. Again, you can see similar story for ADA, Polkadot. Again, this is a different model. Time weighted average price, one would imagine this would prolong duration below the time weighted average price for DOT. Again, taking one example, Litecoin again over here, some relative strength, but not as much as Kaspa when you look at how the price is doing with respect to the time weighted average price. One more Phantom, again series of accumulation phases where the price was below the time weighted average price. Again, this is now shifted to Sonic. Now going back to Kaspa, what we have over here is starting with the machine learning based price forecast. This is the three scenarios forecasted by the model looking at the historical price action since the token launch in 2022 bear market. The base case per the model is all things equal, no bullish or bearish major bearish catalysts. The price on its own, the trend behind the trend, takes the price in the next 6 months from 9 cents to about 11.5 cents. That means this provides, rather than the magnitude, provides the direction of where the prices have a trend or a bias towards. It's an upward bias. If there is a bull case, that is one standard deviation non-euphoria bull case, this yellow line says that in the next 6 months for this model, the 68th percentile non-euphoria one standard deviation rally for Kaspa could take its price between 9.8 cents to about 20.8 cents. So create a new all-time high sometime in late September of 2025. On the other hand, if there is somewhat of a euphoria case, that is a 2 standard deviation 95 percentile bull case, the price could be between, roughly speaking, 10.9 or 11 cents to about 33 cents. So that's the euphoria case for Kaspa. Roughly speaking, from here, almost 4x with 9 times 4 at around 36, slightly under 36 cents. So that's the 2 standard deviation bull case for Kaspa, 3x from here. The bear case is between 5 cents and about 7.5 cents. Those are the levels that we saw Kaspa reach not too long ago. Early part of April of 2025 price was close to that 5.2 cent level. Coming back to the regression based analysis for Kaspa, right now the downturn has been broken. The prices are above this downturn that Kaspa had since about October of 2024. We did make a lot of videos related to Kaspa in this time period. You can see as late as about 6 days ago, when the prices were much lower than they are today, 3 months ago, 4 months ago. You can see throughout the bear market we have covered Kaspa in greater detail. So if you want to stay updated, please give us a like and subscribe on the risk-based models and machine learning model-based forecast for Kaspa. So let's get started. And by the way, all of this graph that I'm sharing on cryptoweeklies.com are available for free. You don't have to wait for me to make a video on it. You can check them out for your own risk analysis or any quantitative analysis. So where the current rally of Kaspa with respect to the regression level again has broken out again, not just the fair value, this pink line denotes the fair value, but also the one standard deviation residual applied to the fair value that comes at about 7.5 cents. That means if the rally were to stay in force for a while, it might also take out the 2 standard deviation residual, which signals major tops in a shorter period, in a shorter time period. That 2 standard deviation ceiling for Kaspa coincidentally comes at around 11.09 cents. Before the price goes to that level, it has to contend with the 20-week simple moving average and the 21-week exponential moving average. And if it manages to do that and rally beyond this point, it might have to contend with this downward slope channel that Kaspa's price action has been part of since about again, this is a breakout. If you ignore this breakout essentially and draw from this point in time, the channel would look like the ceiling could be somewhere at around 11.4 cents, where the midpoint is at around 7 cents or so. So this is the downward sloping channel with some fake outs. Again, this is not the perfectly drawn. Maybe this could be drawn slightly better, trying to incorporate some of the more bullish side of things, and again slightly favoring to an upside, and in that scenario nonetheless the ceiling for Kaspa could be somewhere at around 15 cents per this model. Again, we are close to this midpoint, coming really close to that 10 cent level, which was at one point a support. Now hopefully it's not too much of a resistance. The prices at this point in time, again coming to that once this white line, which is the support at around 9.5 cents. So let's see how the price behaves in the coming days and weeks. Again, the fair value is definitely behind us at around 5.5 cents, and now the one standard deviation per this polynomial regression and an interpretation of fair value and one standard deviation and two standard deviation residual, the prices are kind of trying to break out from their longer term resistances. Let's see if they meaningfully manage to do that. Then what I envision, because it's a non-linear model, in the coming days, if the bullish trend kind of persists, then this could the shape of the regression function could change to more of a sine wave, where there is some dip over here, and then again the next peak occurs in some time in late 2025. So that's something to look out for from the regression based perspective. These charts get updated every single day. These are live charts. Thousands of hours worth of coding went behind these, maintaining this website, not just for Kaspa, for most of the top 100 cryptos by market cap. It's all available for free. You don't have to pay, sign up, or watch any ads on this platform. The 20-week simple moving average based model says that, again, this is price color coded with risk levels. Again, this model did identify some of the great buy zones for Kaspa. Again, if the hypothesis is only to DCA when the risk levels are less than, let's say, 20% for an altcoin, again, this makes some amount of sense, where only to DCA, again, this is using only the simple moving average, 20-week simple moving average, and relationship of price versus 20-week moving average. This, and again, if you want to be more conservative, only DCA when the risks are less than 10%. This model did identify several time periods in October 2024, as well as February, March, and April of 2025. And we did make several videos at this point in time, again, not just making the videos when the prices is in upswing, but again helping to find evidence for any bottom formation. Right now the risk levels are at around 27%. If they were to go to this one critical level of where the rallies do eventually go between 40% risk and 60% risk, if the prices were to go to that level, per this model, the prices could be somewhere between 14 cents and about 17 cents. So again, coming back to this channel, the height of this channel at around 15 cents, so kind of a midpoint for Kaspa to break out of. So that's where the rallies could kind of resolve themselves, at least in the short time, per this model. In terms of the DCA model that we just saw in the regression context, the fair value regression based valuation that we saw at a weekly candle level, this is at a daily level and price color coded with respect to that risk level. Again, the risk levels are kind of elevated at this point because the prices are in an upswing with respect to the regression based fair value. If they were to go to the dotted red line, again, that is coming in at around 10.5 cents, again highlighting the key areas of resistance potentially at those levels, and need to break out of the 20-week simple moving and 21-week exponential moving average, and this support that could potentially act as a resistance in this upcoming rally. So we are at a critical juncture for this technical analysis and the regression based analysis of Kaspa's price action. So if there is a breakout, then the next key levels to watch per the time weighted average price based model is, again, whenever the risks are somewhere between green and yellow risk band, ideally between this 40% and 60% risk. That's where, again, there are no guarantees that prices all the time go to that risk level, but as and when, if and when they go to that risk level, identifying that as a short-term peak or a signal of a distribution phase could be insightful. Right now the risks are, per this model, are at around 22%, as mentioned earlier. So as a confluence of all this model, we do have an estimated bull run target for Kaspa. Again, this model ensures that, again, most of the risk based models are discussed and also aggregated on top of the regression risk at 55%, the time weighted average price risk 14%, time SMA risk at 22%, weighted risk comes at around 36% or 1/3 risk, estimated bull run target. If all of these models were to go to that 95 percentile risk level, estimated bull run peak for Kaspa is at around 24 cents, which is a midpoint between the 1 standard deviation and the 2 standard deviation bull case estimated by our machine learning based model. And with that, I'd like to conclude the video saying that if the next 6 months are bullish for Kaspa, the first area of contention is at around 10 cents, and the 20 week moving and 21 week exponential moving average at around 10 cents. If rally is going to materialize beyond that, the one standard deviation ceiling is at around 20.9 cents. The two standard deviation ceiling is around 33 cents, and the median point at around 25 cents is that overall estimated bull run peak for Kaspa. That leaves between 2.5 and 3x gain from the current price. And with that, I would like to conclude the video. Hope you enjoy the content. If you did, please give us a like and subscribe, and hope to see you again tomorrow. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.